In watercolor, there are another two key techniques I think it's very unique. In watercolor, the way we leave the lightest part is the white paper. So sometimes we need to paint things around the white to make that, to preserve the white and to make that white pop. Not like in oil or acrylic, you can apply white afterwards, but in watercolor, if you lose it, then you lose it. So that's called negative painting, which is we pretty much paint things around the object you want other people to see, instead of painting directly on the object. Let's say there is a house that we normally see. So I'm just going to paint a simple house with probably red roof. So here is the way we normally see, and then we call it positive painting, is we see a house and we paint, say here our roof, okay, and here's some porch, and we see the house in the way that it has a wall, so we paint directly. This is the side wall, and this is the front wall, and also has some color. That's how we see a house. And of course, we're going to add some details of the house. Say this is the chimney, and this is the front porch, the post, and a little door or something. Okay, and we have anything that's surrounded, and we see the bushes added in there, and here are windows. So that's what we usually see as a house. As a positive painting, we see a positive shape. That's how it is. So the other way to paint this is we preserve the white of the wall, the front facade, even the roof, and we paint everything else around the house to preserve this white shape. It's called a negative painting. It means, in the early times we have the film that you can see the shape. When it's reversed, you can see the negative shape. Okay, so this is a key technique because in watercolor, you cannot get your white back. So how we're going to go about this is we pretty much say we leave the house shape. Don't touch it. I'm just painting the outside of this. So the roof line is there. So I'm painting with, let's say, the trees. Some kind of a trees behind that. Painting using a darker shape to make the lighter shape pop. This is very common use in snow painting because you can easily generate a white roof, or otherwise you cannot get the snow back and onto top of the roof if you already painted it over. So now we're having a house, or rather house shape. It's there, and it's painted by painting trees. Okay, and it's not there yet, so we'll continue. We make other parts as positive shape, and then we leave this one, the house, as a negative shape. So that's the shape. And of course, you will need some details to indicate this is a house. Okay, the shadow part we can still, but you see how much the roof I've already kept as a white. Okay, and I think I'm not going to paint this wall. So what I'm going to indicate is we have some red roof. Let's say the lights coming this way. Okay. And by the way, painting these, the best way to use is probably use a round brush. You can see there is usually a metal part and a sharp edge of any kind of a brush they have. The manufacturer always say round. These has good tips so you can control your brush stroke and get the shape that instantly when you paint. Instead of the first brush we use for the wash, sometimes it doesn't really have the tip and it's hard to control. So this part of the wall, I'm going to give a little wash. So it blends into the background. You see, this way it's also great to show off the light. And you see the white we preserved. And this time we can say just add a few. And see the house has lights. Okay, this way we also have lights, but because we painted the whole house without leaving any whites, it's hard to tell if it's a very strong sunset. I'm going to make this one a little darker. And that's how the negative painting is useful in the watercolor painting. So you see the house, it's there, and we kept majority of the whites in this way by painting around the house. Not saying that afterwards you don't paint anything on the house. You can still paint, let's say, the roof. Window, but keeping the whites in this one greatly helped this watercolor to make it look like having light on the house. So that's the technique that every watercolor artist should know, and we keep some whites in there. It's called negative painting. Okay. So positive painting, painting a house. Negative painting, painting the same house, but keeping lots of white. That's the technique that you can practice painting around it.